Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. In this video, we are going to talk about the story points. So let's get started. So what is a story point? Basically, a story point is a metric that is used to estimate the difficulty level of implementing a user story. And when we talk about the difficulty, we mainly are talking about that when we are implementing a user story, what are the complexities involved, what are the risks involved, and what are the efforts involved. It is typically performed during the backlog refinement session, but there are some teams that do the story point estimation during their planning sessions, but it's most effective when we do it during the refinement session, and a lot of time can be saved during the planning as well if we are not doing this exercise. Then it's a team sport. So by team sport, I mean that we should involve everyone on our team, be it the developers, designers, testers, deployers, anyone on the team. So each member brings a different perspective on the product and the work that is required to deliver a user story. For example, design changes not only requires the input of a UX designer, but that of a development team and a QA as well. So if you leave a broader product team out of the estimation process, then it will eventually create lower quality estimates and in turn lowers the morale of the team, because then the key contributors might feel that they are not included, and ultimately the quality of software will be compromised. So it's a team sport. Everyone in the team should estimate. Then next is makes estimation easier, as teams consider only how much effort a product backlog item will require relative to other product backlog item. So in this case, if you ask to developers that creation of a web page with username, password and a submit button, like how much time it is going to take in hours, you may get different answers, because these two people, they might have different experiences when it comes to the involved tools and technologies, when it comes to the domain knowledge, the framework being used, the skill set of the developers doing the work. So but if we ask the two developers to rate the amount of effort required to complete this task relative to another task, then in that situation we are far more likely to end up with a consensus. So that is why we always say that when we are estimating in story points, we should not narrow down that relative number into hours. Then the next point is that it helps you derive the sprint velocity. So if you are starting afresh with a team, these story point estimation may not help you derive the sprint velocity at one go. So you have to keep using same estimation technique, and over a period of time, when the estimations will become more mature, then you will be able to see an accurate sprint velocity for your scrum teams. But otherwise, if you are starting afresh, it could probably be the case that in the very beginning, in your first sprint, the team might deliver 13 story points, and in the next sprint it could be 26, and then it could be 15, then back to 9, and things like that will happen. But over a period of time, when you have the same team members, you have some reference product backlog items, then with the help of these things, if you follow this consistently, the estimations will become more mature, and you will move your team in a direction of accurate estimation that help you derive the correct sprint velocity. Now when we talk about that, how we have to do this estimation, what scale are we going to use? So we have two scales, or I have seen two scales. One is extra small, small, medium, large, extra large. This is known as T-shirt sizing. And the another one is Fibonacci sequence 1 2 3 5 8 13 21 and so on. So the second one is a bit popular in all the organizations which are implementing agile, and in this video we're going to talk about the Fibonacci sequence only. So why we follow this sequence, or what are the benefits of following this sequence? So one of the major benefits of following the sequence is that when you are using this scale to do a story point estimation, then the team is forced to make a choice between less and more uncertain stories. What do I mean by that? Is that in this situation, the numbers are apart, which imply that you are forced to make a choice between the number that's on the lower side or the number that's on the higher side. So we as humans, we see a perceptible difference between 5 and 8 story points, or between 18 and 13. Then we usually see when we follow some kind of linear scale, for example 5 and 6 or 10 or 11. So increasing the intervals between the numbers forces the mind to see a visible difference in magnitude. And next is that it's easy to ascertain the ratio of difference between the numbers available in this scale. So as we do a relative estimation always, then it's quite difficult to derive the ratio of a difference between 5 and 6 than in a 5 and 8 situation. So that's why this scale is more effective rather than just using 1 2 3 4 to provide the estimations for the work that you are supposed to do. Now, what are the things that we should keep in mind when we are doing the estimation? So what actually goes into the story point? So three things: the amount of work that's involved, complexity, and risk or uncertainty. So when we talk about the amount of work, so it's certainly that if there is more to do of something, then the effort of estimation should be larger. If there is less of something that we need to do, the effort of the estimation of the effort is small. So I'll give you one example here. For example, you are developing 2 web pages, and the first page only has one field and a label which is asking you to enter some text. The second page has hundreds of fields and they need to be filled with a bit of text. Now considering that in the second page there are no interactions amongst the fields, and each of the field is nothing more than a bit of text, so we can say that there is no uncertainty involved, or there is no risk that we see when it comes to the second page. So basically the only difference between these two pages is that there is more to do on the second page. On the first page we are just having 2 fields, on the second page we are having hundreds of fields. So in this case the second page, the development of second page requires more amount of work to be done. So the estimation in that case will increase. Hence probably making a second page would take 3 times more effort as compared to creating the first page. So this is with respect to amount of work to do. Then the second is the complexity. So complexity is another very important factor that needs to be considered when you are providing a story point estimate. For example, in the previous example that we took, where we talked about a second page with the hundreds of fields which are nothing more than just bit of a text. Now consider that there are interactions between them. Okay, there are some date fields, or there are some text fields like phone number, or probably we have to have some boxes wherein we need to input the credit card number, and after we enter the CVV, a verification has to happen. uh, so in this case, if you compare it to the previous scenario where we were having just 100 of fields with only text, this case is more harder to implement. Things are more complex here, so they will take more time, and when things will take more time, the estimation will eventually go up. Okay, then risk or uncertainty. So the amount of risk or uncertainty while implementing a user story should also affect the estimate. Now, for example, if I as a product owner ask my team to estimate a user story, and the requirements that are mentioned in the user story that are very much unclear, the stakeholder doesn't know what he actually needs, so that kind of uncertainty should be reflected in the estimate. If you are implementing a feature that involves refactoring of the old code that has no automated test in place, then that risk should be reflected in the estimate. So that is with respect to the risk and uncertainty. So these three are major factors that you need to take into account with every user story that you are going to estimate. So we are not talking about hours here. You are not going to say that, okay, if I estimate a user story as one story point, that equals to some 10 hours. No, that's not the case at all. So it's just a relative number that involves these three things um, with respect to the estimation. Now, how are you going to do this estimation, or how can you make your life a little bit easier when it comes to this type of estimation? So often it's kind of very confusing in the beginning for the teams that are starting from scratch, and the teams who have never heard of like what the story point estimation is. So what you can do as a scrum master or as a product owner, you can find a baseline story. So by baseline story, I mean that it doesn't mean that it has to be smallest. It has to be the smallest one that you think, based upon your discussion with your business or from wherever you got the requirement, that it just involve a minor change. So it doesn't necessarily to be the smallest one, but the one that everyone within the team can resonate with. Everyone within the team understands it, be it from the technical perspective, be it from the functional perspective. So just choose that one story as a baseline story, and once you determine that, then sizing of all the other user stories, they should be initiated by comparing them against this baseline. Then once you find this baseline story, you assign a point value to it. Okay, and when you are estimating the other user stories, you compare those user stories to this baseline story and see that, okay, the changes that we have to do in this user story, are these changes more complex in nature as compared to our baseline story? Do we see any risk involved, or is the amount of work that we have to do is more as compared to the baseline story? So this kind of relative estimations we have to do, because when it comes to story point estimation, relative values are certainly more important than the raw value. So a story that's assigned 2 story points should be twice as much as a story that is assigned 1 story point. Now, the third part is that you have a lot of team members in your team. Now, at the end of it, when you are estimating, you should reach to a consensus wherein all the team members will estimate or will point to one single value. So there should be consensus, and if there is if the consensus is not there, then you initiate a discussion. So if there is a difference in opinion wherein one team member says it's a 3 and other says it's a 8, then ask the team member who rated as 3 as to why he or she feels that it's not a complex requirement. Have they implemented this requirement before? Or the team member who rated as 8, is he trying to say that, I have already worked on this, and I know the intricacies or complexities involved, and probably it may look simpler to you, but herein we really have to do a lot of work. So has he given 8 because he feels that there are even after development a lot more of testing has to be done? So you just try to explore those reasons and then just do a revote to arrive to a consensus, and you keep on revoting until and unless you reach a consensus. Okay, now just one last point that I want to cover as part of story points is when we talked about this Fibonacci scale or Fibonacci sequence, then how do I personally treat that? That's one suggestion or one recommendation from my side that I want to tell you. So one, I would say, I would not say that from my perspective there is not much difference between 1 and 2. So I would say that 1 is like just a minor change, just 1 or 2 days of work. Then for 2, I will say that it's of low complexity, we don't see any risk involved here. Then with 3 also, I would say that it's of low complexity and we kind of don't see any risk. So 2 could be very low, 3 could be low. Then for 5, I would say that it's of medium complexity and there could be some risk involved. 8 means that it's of a high complexity and definitely risks are there. 13, it's very complicated. We have a lot of risk and uncertainty involved or dependencies involved that we need to check upon. And 21, personally, I have never used in my teams. So in my team, how we rate or how do we estimate is that we usually go up till number 8, and if we find a user story during the refinement session which we are going to which we are rating it as 13, then we just try to clarify the requirements or clarify the uncertainties that are there, and we break it down into 2 because different teams has different dynamics. So the kind of teams that I have worked with, they worked well with till number 8. So till number 8 they say that okay, if any given user story they are estimating from 1 till 8, that means they will be able to finish that user story in the sprint. And if anything that's beyond 8, they might not be able to finish that user story in a sprint. Then why take such requirements that we cannot complete in a sprint? So we slice it down. So you can also follow this suggestion. So that's all from my side for story points. If you have any questions, comments, please do post in the comment section. And thank you for listening to me. Thank you.